Donald Trump is facing a moment unlike any other in his public life, and this time, there is no rally stage, no cheering crowd, and no loyal inner circle rushing in to protect him. What we are witnessing now is a slow but unmistakable collapse. Political, legal, financial, and personal, all unfolding at once. For years, Trump thrived on chaos, controversy, and confrontation. But today, that same chaos has turned inward, and the man who once claimed absolute control appears increasingly isolated, cornered, and unraveling. The signs of this breakdown are everywhere. Trump's public appearances have grown more erratic, his speeches more rambling, and his messaging increasingly disconnected from reality. Where he once projected confidence and dominance, there is now visible frustration and desperation. Allies who once defended his every move are falling silent or quietly distancing themselves. Even some of his most loyal supporters are beginning to question whether Trump still has the power or the stability to lead anything at all. Behind the scenes, Trump's legal troubles are stacking up at an unprecedented rate. Criminal indictments, civil trials, financial penalties, and mounting legal fees have created a pressure cooker that no amount of bravado can diffuse. Courtrooms have replaced campaign stages, and judges, not crowds, now control his fate. Each new hearing chips away at the carefully constructed image of invincibility that Trump spent decades building. Financially, the picture is just as grim. Trump's business empire, long portrayed as a symbol of unmatched success, is under intense scrutiny. Properties once marketed as trophies of wealth are now liabilities. Banks are wary, investors are cautious, and brand Trump no longer commands the unquestioned prestige it once did. The illusion of endless riches is fading, replaced by court-ordered valuations and sobering financial realities. Politically, Trump's grip on the Republican Party is weakening. While he still commands a vocal base, cracks are forming. Party leaders who once bowed to his influence are now hedging their bets, preparing for a future without him. Rising figures within the GOP are positioning themselves as alternatives, signaling that Trump is no longer the inevitable center of the political universe. The fear that once kept dissenters in line is losing its power. Even Trump's media dominance is slipping. Major networks no longer treat his every word as breaking news. Social media platforms that once amplified his voice now impose restrictions, fact checks, and limits. The outrage machine that fueled his rise is sputtering, and without constant attention, Trump struggles to maintain relevance. For a man who feeds on visibility, this slow fade is perhaps the most painful blow of all. What makes this moment especially striking is how alone Trump appears. Former advisors have turned into critics. One-time allies have become witnesses. Trusted insiders are now cooperating with investigators. The inner circle that once shielded him has dissolved, leaving Trump to face consequences largely on his own. Loyalty, once demanded and assumed, has proven to be conditional and temporary. Psychologically, the toll is evident. Trump's language has grown darker, more combative, and more paranoid. He lashes out at judges, prosecutors, journalists, and even members of his own party. Every criticism is framed as a conspiracy, every setback as sabotage. This constant state of grievance may energize a shrinking base, but it also reveals a man struggling to process loss, failure, and accountability. The contrast between Trump's past and present could not be sharper. This is the same figure who once claimed he would win so much that Americans would get tired of winning. Now defeat follows defeat. Court rulings, electoral losses, and public rejections pile up, each one puncturing the myth of perpetual success. The strongman persona collapses when confronted with systems that cannot be bullied or bought. Perhaps most damaging of all is the erosion of Trump's narrative control. For years, he dictated the story, framing every event in his favor. But facts, evidence, and sworn testimony have a way of cutting through spin. Legal documents do not care about slogans. Court transcripts do not respond to insults. Reality, slow and methodical, is catching up. As Trump's world falls apart, the broader implications are becoming clear. This is not just the story of one man's downfall, but a cautionary tale about power without accountability. Trump's rise exposed deep vulnerabilities in democratic institutions, but his collapse demonstrates their resilience. The same systems he tried to undermine are now holding him to account. Yet even now, Trump refuses to acknowledge failure. He doubles down, portraying himself as a martyr rather than a defendant. This refusal to accept responsibility may rally a core audience, but it does nothing to stop the unraveling. Denial can delay reckoning, but it cannot prevent it. In the end, Trump's breakdown is not marked by a single dramatic moment, but by a series of undeniable realities closing in from all sides. The applause has faded, the circle has shrunk, the consequences have arrived. And for the first time, Donald Trump is facing a world he cannot control. What happens next remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The era of Trump as an untouchable force is over. What we are witnessing now is the dismantling of a myth, piece by piece. A man who built his identity on dominance now confronts vulnerability. A figure who demanded loyalty now stands largely alone. And a leader who promised greatness now watches as his world falls apart in real time. This is not triumph. This is collapse. And history is watching.